lot of isolated spots really where a lot of people don't sort of go, so you know, you could land here quite unnoticed, and obviously people do. So I mean, it is a rough coastline, especially around this sort of area. So
third-generation fisherman Matt Coker has sailed the Kent coast for more than 2 decades.
If you didn't know what you're doing, you could quite easily get into trouble, but I suppose that's a risk they're willing to take. So.
Do you see many small boats around here?
We do see quite a few, and more so in the last few years. But it's very difficult to sort of differentiate whether they're out on a fishing trip or whether they're somebody coming in illegally.
Many are willing to risk that trip illegally. At around midnight on Saturday, 18 Albanians, including a woman and children, and 2 Brits, were plucked out of the channel, marooned off the village of Dymchurch. 2 British men in their 30s, Mark Stribling and Robert Stilwell, both from Kent, appeared in court today, charged with people smuggling. And yesterday, a second rigid inflatable boat, or RIB, was found in Dymchurch, but the Home Office is saying it cannot confirm any connection between the 2 incidents.
The sea off the Kent coast is pretty choppy today, but it was even worse on Saturday night. Pitch black, freezing cold, and with 2 children aboard. Fortunately, that boat was picked up by the Coast Guard. But how many will be less fortunate? Because what we do know is that this was not an isolated incident.
This is the latest in a number of reported incidents of migrants being found or rescued from small boats heading towards the British coast. Last August, Dutch police discovered 26 people attempting to cross the North Sea on an 8-man yacht headed for the Norfolk coast. Last month, 2 Iranian men were rescued on a small inflatable dinghy off Dover. They were saved only after the captain of a Channel ferry spotted the light from one of their phones. A week ago, 17 Albanians were found on a catamaran in Chichester Marina. They were arrested along with a British man. Then on Saturday, the UK Coast Guard was called to Dymchurch.
It could be that we get similar scenes to such as we've seen in the Mediterranean, which we really don't want to see here. But we have to be prepared for it, and you have to say at the moment we're not really well prepared, but it shouldn't have caught us on the hop. Frontline border officers have been saying probably for 2 or 3 years that this could become a problem for us.